Welcome to the 5-Minute Warfare podcast from 5minutewarfare.com, where we dive into history's most pivotal battles and military strategies in around 5 minutes. If you enjoy the show and would like to support us, why not consider buying us a coffee? Head on over to 5minutewarfare.com/coffee to see how. This is episode 13, Hannibal's Masterstroke, Crossing the Alps. Hannibal Barca, the brilliant Carthaginian general, is remembered as one of history's greatest military tacticians. His most audacious and famous achievement was his daring decision to lead an army, including war elephants, across the Alps during the Second Punic War in 218 BCE. This bold move not only stunned the Roman Republic, but also set the stage for one of the most remarkable military campaigns in ancient history. Hannibal's crossing of the Alps is considered a masterstroke of warfare, demonstrating his extraordinary leadership, strategic brilliance, and sheer determination. The background to Hannibal's decision to undertake such a perilous journey lay in the ongoing conflict between Carthage and Rome. The two great powers had clashed before in the First Punic War, which ended in a Roman victory and the imposition of harsh terms on Carthage. Determined to avenge his people and halt Rome's expansion, Hannibal sought to challenge the Roman military might once more, this time by taking the fight to the heart of Italy itself. Hannibal's plan was audacious. Rather than engage the Roman legions in predictable Mediterranean battles, he would launch a surprise attack by marching his army from Spain, across Gaul, and through the Alps, into northern Italy. The Romans, secure in the belief that their northern defences and the formidable mountain range would protect them, were unprepared for such a bold and unprecedented move. Hannibal's genius lay in exploiting this overconfidence. Hannibal's army consisted of approximately 50,000 infantry, 9,000 cavalry, and several dozen war elephants. The decision to include elephants, a symbol of Carthaginian power, was a calculated risk. These massive beasts could terrify enemy forces, but they also required substantial resources and careful handling to survive such a grueling journey. Nonetheless, Hannibal saw their potential as a psychological weapon and pressed ahead with his plan. The journey began with Hannibal's forces successfully crossing the Pyrenees and entering Gaul. Here, he displayed his diplomatic skill by securing alliances with local tribes, ensuring his army would not be harassed as they made their way towards the Alps. Hannibal's leadership and ability to navigate these tribal rivalries were essential to maintaining the strength and morale of his army. However, this was merely the prelude to the most dangerous part of the journey, the crossing of the Alps. The Alps presented a daunting challenge. Not only were the mountains treacherous, but the onset of winter made the journey even more perilous. Ancient sources speak of the harsh conditions Hannibal's army faced: freezing temperatures, narrow and unstable mountain passes, and attacks from hostile local tribes. The terrain was unforgiving, and many of his soldiers and animals perished during the crossing, falling to their deaths on steep cliffs or succumbing to the cold. It was a battle against nature itself, testing the endurance of every member of Hannibal's force. Despite these hardships, Hannibal's leadership never wavered. He rallied his troops, urging them onwards with the promise of victory and riches once they reached the fertile lands of Italy. His ability to inspire loyalty and determination in the face of overwhelming odds was one of his greatest strengths as a commander. His men, hardened by their general's resolve, continued the grueling march, knowing they were part of an unprecedented military feat. After weeks of struggle, Hannibal and his army finally descended from the Alps into the plains of northern Italy. The journey had taken a heavy toll. Some estimates suggest that only half of his original force survived the crossing, but they had achieved the impossible. By emerging on the other side of the Alps, Hannibal had outflanked the Romans and brought the war to their doorstep in a way they had never anticipated. The psychological impact of Hannibal's crossing was enormous. Rome, accustomed to fighting wars on foreign soil or near its borders, now faced a Carthaginian army deep within Italy. The Roman Senate scrambled to mobilize forces to deal with the unexpected threat, but the shock of Hannibal's audacious move had already weakened their resolve. Hannibal quickly demonstrated that his tactical genius extended beyond the Alps, as he went on to win a series of stunning victories over the Romans in battles such as Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and the famous Battle of Cannae. The crossing of the Alps was not just a military manoeuvre. It was a strategic masterstroke that fundamentally altered the course of the Second Punic War. Hannibal's success in bringing his army through such an inhospitable landscape and into Italy is testament to his exceptional skills as a leader and strategist. He had turned what seemed an impossible task into a springboard for his campaign against Rome, destabilizing the Roman forces and striking fear into the hearts of its citizens. Although Hannibal would eventually be defeated after years of campaigning, his crossing of the Alps remains one of the most extraordinary feats in military history. It demonstrated the power of surprise, the importance of leadership, and the value of audacity in warfare. Hannibal had not only defied the physical barriers of the Alps, but also the expectations of his enemies, showing that great military success often comes from the willingness to take risks that others would deem impossible. The legacy of Hannibal's Alpine crossing endures to this day. Historians and military strategists continue to study and admire the boldness and ingenuity of his plan. It remains a symbol of determination, resilience, and the lengths to which a commander must go to achieve victory. Hannibal's masterstroke was not only in his ability to conceive such a daring plan, but also in his capacity to execute it against all odds, leaving a mark on history that has lasted for millennia. I hope you enjoyed that episode of 5-Minute Warfare from 5minutewarfare.com. If you did, please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. If you would like to support us more directly, please consider buying us a coffee. Head on over to 5minutewarfare.com/coffee to see how. You may also be interested in our other 5-minute podcasts. Check them out at 5minuteproductions.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.